Hey everybody, it's Amanda from timetravelhypnosis.com again, and I am back for the predictions for 2019. I did my first prediction video last year for 2018, and it was fun, and I think people enjoyed it. And so, even though I don't claim to be psychic, I think all of us are really psychic. So, I'm throwing my hat in there, combination of intuitive knowing. I just go into meditative state or hypnotic state, or the state I go into channel, and then I ask what's going to be going on for 2019 in different areas. And this year I asked, I think the same as last year, political. Even though I don't really follow politics, I ask anyway in case other people do follow. Science and technology, which includes medical. There's a little thing floating right there. Medical, technology, earth and climate. So political, science and tech, medical, earth and climate, and spiritual. So I did this earlier, just a bit ago, and this is all I got. All right, so starting with political. I saw some kind of accord between the US and Canada, and that seems unusual to me. I don't think the Canadians like us very much. My Canadian friends like, me and my American friends, but it's like the political part just don't get along. Anyway, at first I felt like this was like marijuana related. I don't know why. And I think maybe that was just to show me that it's like pharmaceutical related. So I don't know if we're going to have some kind of agreement about distribution of pharmaceuticals or something. I don't know. It's supposed to be to some benefit for us. So anyway, maybe we'll see. So I was trying to make sure I got the whole year. So I was focusing on like the beginning of the year, like spring, and then summer, and then winter. So when I tried to focus on, that was all I got at first. And then I was trying to focus on summer. And in the summer, I saw that Trump was in a really positive frame of mind. He's being very cooperative, and he's, he was nodding a lot, which I thought was interesting. He was being very, very like agreeable and positive, and getting things done, lots of travel. And then I thought, well, let me check out these other leaders and see what I can get. China too, very positive frame of mind, getting things done, very agreeable, very much lighter feeling than normal politics feels. So that was interesting. And then I was looking at Russia, and they're very focused on what's going on in their own country. And I'm not sure, if this was summer or later or what's going on there, but very focused on their own country for some reason. Okay. England looked like they were arguing with Germany and France. First Germany and then France. And it had something to do with Italy, but they're like just ignoring the situation, whatever the situation is. Then I thought, what about Spain? Just because it popped in my head, and they don't have anything to do with this, whatever it is. And I didn't see any other countries in Europe involved with this where I don't know what England's mad about. Maybe something to do with Brexit or something. I don't know. They're arguing. They're trying to argue with something because they're a little angry about whatever. I don't know. You guys might know more than me, or somebody can research it or whatever. Anyway, okay. That's all for political. That's it. So I didn't see any wars or bad stuff, but I really didn't see that anywhere in any of this. So I don't know whether that's just my guidance doesn't want to focus on the negative, or there isn't any negative. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, science, tech, medical. So right off the bat, I saw a big focus on space. And, we just, United States, I think it's the United States, just landed a lander. We have a lander on Mars. What is it called? It's not a rover. I feel like there's another word. Anyway, so we'll be exploring, like Mars, and everything. Like from Mars, the quote that just popped into my head, not just now, but when I was doing it, was from Mars to the stars and everything in between, literally everything. All space, all about space for 2019. All right, so for technology, I saw this big, what looks like a machine, some kind of big device, and it had a metal cover over it, so I couldn't see all of it. But I was hearing this sound, and I could see what to me looked like a little wheel off of a, like my kid's wagon or a bicycle, a little trike or something, like a black rubber wheel. That maybe it's more oblong because it wasn't just turning, it was going in a rhythmic, it was swinging, and it was making this noise. I don't know what the noise is, but I could hear it in my head, and it was like, but it wasn't producing anything. It wasn't like kicking out a piece of paper when it did that, or kicking, it wasn't, I don't know what it was doing. So I feel like it's, so it's this machine, and it's producing something, I think, or creating something. I don't know if it's energetic or frequency based or something that we haven't ever even heard of. And I feel like the guy who is the main guy in charge of it is French for some reason. That was just the feeling I got. Let me see. Oh, I feel like it has applications in the energy sector and possibly the medical sector. Who knows? So I feel like it's energetic related. I don't know. Maybe not. So yeah, the next thing I saw for medical was that the medical facilities were practically empty. There were like no or very few patients. The hallways were all bright and clean and completely empty. And there's like nurses and staff in there, but where are the people? And I feel like this was in Europe somewhere. And I was getting a Scandinavian sort of vibe. So I don't know if this is just symbolic of people are healthier, or they'll come out with some reports as people haven't need hospitals as much or something. I don't know what that means, but it'll be interesting to find out. Okay, Earth and climate. The first thing I saw was really weird. It was like I could see the Earth, and I was looking at North America, and it was shaking. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just like on the surface, the whole surface was just like vibrating. But I didn't really feel like it was physically vibrating, so I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe a change of vibration, or I don't know. And I couldn't tell if it was the whole Earth. I kind of felt like it was whole Earth doing that at first. Like it's almost like it was alternating between two states of being. Like it was one state, doing this weird, well, I guess transition into another state. But I didn't see the state before or the state after. I just saw the shaking. So I have no idea what that means. Okay. And then I'm looking around the whole world to see, show me earthquakes, show me floods, show me volcanoes. And I wasn't getting anything. And like I said, I don't know if that's because they don't want to focus on the negative, or they don't want me to focus. They don't want my audience. They want you guys to focus on it. I don't know. But I couldn't see anything except when I saw Australia, it was beautiful, bright and sunny. It was bright and the sun was shining on it. And I don't know if that means there'll be fewer storms or it'll be better for Australia this year. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But it wasn't anything bad. Didn't seem like anything bad. The sunniness, bright sun. I don't know. Okay, and then the last thing I got for Earth and climate was everybody's going to be focusing more on rebuilding and restoring the environment. And I'm trying to remember what I saw. I just saw people like cleaning up outside, like outside moving debris and doing things to get the environment back to its natural state, if that makes sense. So that sounds good. Okay, and the last thing is spiritual. And this is the weirdest of all. And I want to caution you not to assume the event is coming just because I saw this, because this could be metaphor or figurative or something that we won't even really know is happening because it's not visible to us. Anyway, so what I saw was the earth wrapped in like a white blanket, but it was open at the poles for a purpose. And it was, I think at first, to let things in. Well, I don't know which way it was. It's to let things in and let things out. So, if you've got the earth and then there was like this blanket around it. Well, the blanket's about like this thick all around it. I didn't feel like it went through to the middle. I felt like it was just there for us, for the people and the animals and the nature and everything, the consciousness. Let me see what else. It was very calming and very warm, and it felt like, yeah, it felt like that. Just letting a breath out, just like, okay, don't have to worry anymore. It reminded me of like the feeling that I would get when I was like a toddler of crawling up on my dad's lap and just knowing that I was safe and protected and everything was going to be okay. And I didn't have to worry about anything. So that's kind of the feeling of it. Did I say it was white? It was a blanket of white light. And it, I can't really explain the thickness, but it goes up into the atmosphere. It's not just right at the surface where it doesn't just like stop right here. So, okay. And then the next thing I got was, I don't know if it's because of this, but another part of the spiritual stuff we'll experience, or some of us, or maybe it's just that I don't know, whatever. I'm just telling you. Yeah. So one of the things was this feeling of expansiveness, like rather than just focusing on our experience here, it's this feeling of like our awareness expands out into everything, the whole galaxy, the universe. It goes out into space, and we're connected to it all of a sudden. We're not restricted to feeling this life experience here on Earth. It goes, just expands out everywhere, and it just goes on, and we're just taking in this feeling of, oh my gosh, look how much there is. It's just, everything is open now. All of it. It's just like we're suddenly all connected to all of it. Like your personal experiences, that you're connected to all of it, everywhere. Okay, and then the last thing I got was there's a shifting of focus to it was like connecting to nature, connecting to your little, if you live in we live in a sort of in the country on the edge of town, but we have 1.5 acres of land. And it was like, you go out and you start taking care of your 1.5 acres of land. Like you take care of everything about it, the trees, the animals, and you don't care anything about what kind of lamp you have anymore. You're like, it doesn't even register. Everything is very, it's like the things you own are just utility. They're just to use. They're not a focus anymore. Focus goes to, shifts to nature, which is not something I would normally think, because I like to garden and stuff, but I don't spend tons of time outside. I like my home and I like taking care of it and decorating, and it's Christmas, so we're getting out all the Christmas stuff, and I love all of that. But in this, what I saw was me just setting my stuff down and just going outside and picking up branches and tidying everything up and making everything outside, just helping. It's like my job to help outside now, help everything outside. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. That's all my weird predictions for 2019. If you want to watch my 2018 video, I did actually go back and see if there was if I got anything right. And the biggest thing I know I didn't get right is I said I felt like there was maybe going to be an earthquake in a weird place like St. Louis or Chicago, which at the time, even saying it, I was like, that's weird because these aren't places that ever get earthquakes. And to my knowledge, we didn't have any big earthquakes there. We did have the big one in Alaska recently, but Alaska gets earthquakes, just not big ones that often. Let's see what else I did. Yeah, the technology, the telepathy thing was in there, and telepathy related to spiritual stuff I have noticed this year. I said in technology last year that we're going to be less dependence on TV and technology and stuff, but especially TV. And I think maybe looking back, that had to do with all this whole not knowing, something comes out in the media and you don't know if it's true or not. So you just like, I'm just not going to watch because I don't know if you're telling me the truth or you're lying or whatever. So the other technology thing I had mentioned last year was the super fast travel on a ship in a day. And it wasn't long after that I happened upon an article where Elon Musk was talking about using the SpaceX rockets to using it for commercial travel. So, and I had even mentioned like going from New York to London in a day, and his thing was anywhere on Earth in a day. So I thought that was like, wow, couldn't believe that. I mean, I saw an actual ship, and in his video, a ship not like a cruise ship, but a big ship takes the passengers out to the launch pad. So maybe that's what I was seeing. So that was kind of cool. So I got like tech was pretty spot on. For spiritual, I had said that people would be less reactive. I don't know. That may be the spiritual community and not people in general. I think people in general are pretty reactive this past year. Heightened authenticity. You can sense if people are honest, and that goes for personal and in businesses. And I think that was big last year. Like people standing up and saying, you're not what you're not doing. We don't approve of what you're doing. Stop it. Yeah. And I had said the event I saw was sort of, the trigger for the event was surrounding us, but just starting to trickle in. I didn't see it happening, which, I mean, we have a few more weeks, but I didn't see it happening. What did I say last year for Earth? I saw more earthquakes, and we did have more larger earthquakes, but I don't know that we had any in terms of number of earthquakes. I don't think we had any more. We did have double the 7 to 7.9 earthquakes in 2018 than we did in 2017. I said I had seen a crack in this central U.S. from north to south filled with water. I think that just had to do with fracking. And I didn't see any major news about it, but somebody else may have seen something or heard something. Northeast U.S. metal. I don't know. I didn't figure anything out about that. Vesuvius, I said, was not going to erupt. It didn't. Still have a few weeks, but whatever. I hope not. Surely not. Political, I had said that Trump seemed like he might do something to endanger us as a country, but he wouldn't. And so far, like we haven't been blown up. So far so good. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand any of the political stuff. I mean, because it was pretty vague last year, so it could have been. I don't know. It's hard to validate stuff that's vague or easy. I mean, you could just say, "Oh, it meant this," whatever. I don't know. Personal last year. I didn't do personal this year, but last year, I was supposed to move into a new house in September, October, and I saw myself in the house, I think in October. I did find the house that was in the future life progression that I did, but we didn't buy it. But I did go and tour it, and it did look like the house in my vision. I mean, down to the bedspread on the bed upstairs. It was really kind of weird, but it was not a house that we would have wanted to buy because it was in a neighborhood. It was more than we would want to pay, and it had a really small backyard, and we like land. So it's disappointing that we didn't get our house that I saw, but I did go in the house that I saw, which is weird. So anyway, if you guys have any predictions for 2019, humorous or other, or just guesses, post them in the comments. I love all that stuff. And if you're watching this sometime in 2019 and something that I said has happened, please let me know, because I don't always see that stuff, and I'll try to go back at the end of the year like I'm doing now for last year. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope y'all are having a good day, and have a great week, and much love. See you next time.